upon its final disposition na may motion for reconsideration, we're still giving that chance of a motion for reconsideration.
If I may, Your Honor, if you will indulge me, if I may state the working motion to adhere to the July 25, 2025 decision of the Supreme Court declaring the articles of impeachment null and void ab initio, and that the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction over the same. We can stop there. And then, as I said, after the vote becomes final on Monday or Tuesday, if no one will seek a reconsideration, to archive it. If there is no change, then it remains in the archives and nothing needs to be done. If the Supreme Court reverses itself, however possible or impossible that may be, then we will entertain a motion to bring it out of the archives. Bring it out of the archives and act accordingly again in obedience to the Supreme Court decision. So,
ang problema, Mr. President, when we say that the Senate has not acquired jurisdiction, masang-ayon tayo sa sinasabi ng Supreme Court decision nilang ito na maraming nagsasabi na hindi tama. Dahil tinawag nyo to ng June 9 nag-oath ang Senate President. Nag-oath yung iba ng June 10, nag-motion, nag-robe pa nga Hindi naman pwedeng pampelikula lang yun, pan-TV lang yung robe na yun. You convened. So hindi pwedeng sabihin ng Supreme Court that you never acquired jurisdiction. February 5, 4:15 p.m., the Senate President's Office and the Senate Secretariat received the articles of impeachment.
I'm sorry, Minority Leader. Legally, when you say the Senate never acquired jurisdiction, it does not deny the fact that we convened. That is a totally different matter. It says that since the articles of impeachment violated the one-year ban, that we never supposedly acquired jurisdiction. Not that we never did when it was not yet barred by the Supreme Court. That factual situation still exists and is part of our records. As I said, that's why the better alternative is to archive it, because it was part of what actually happened, transpired, and it's part of the Senate's history. But having said that, without belaboring the point, if agreement cannot be reached, then we can proceed to dispose of the motion of Senator Soto, our distinguished Minority Floor Leader, to lay the motion of Senator Marcoleta on the table, and depending on the outcome of that vote, should it not be favorable to the movant, then we proceed to act on the motion of Senator Marcoleta. If it is favorable to the movant, the distinguished Minority Floor Leader, then there is no need to proceed with the motion of Senator Marcoleta. Senator Lacson.
Mr. President, we have to determine first if Senator Marcoleta has legal standing in filing his motion to dismiss.
He will amend this motion later. We will first decide on the motion.
So there's amendment to the motion.
Yes. And then let's hear his motion, Your Honor.
Yes. Mr. President, the lady from Antique is seeking the floor. I move the TB.
Senator Duterte is recognized. What is your pleasure, ma'am?
Thank you, Mr. President. It's been 3 hours and a half with the very enlightening discussions. I just wanted to clarify, and actually, may I convey that there is a sliver of a difference between the two motions, so I wanted to be clarified. The original motion to dismiss, I believe, has been amended based on the discussions to the motion to archive.
Yes.
And the motion to archive, in my understanding, based on all the explanations, would be without prejudice to the reopening of the possibility after the Supreme Court conveys its ruling on the motion for reconsideration.
Yes.
And therefore, in the possibility of the event that it reverses itself, then we would act accordingly.
That is correct. Yes.
On the other hand, there is a motion which takes precedence, and that has been the motion of the Minority Leader to lay on the table the motion. But when you see and interpret the amended motion of the original movement, Senator Marcoleta, and the Minority Leader's motion, it's similar because it lays on the table, or it somehow just postpones indefinitely until such time that the Supreme Court has decided on the motion for reconsideration. Is there any possibility that
May
we
I
can
explain the
agree so that we can amend it so that the body can actually vote as one? Because we are not putting it to a permanent halt, because we will be waiting anyway for the motion for reconsideration by the Supreme Court,
Yes, Mr.
the
President,
ruling on that.
may I have
Yes.
1 minute to explain the difference?
I know that there is,
Yeah.
let me state, I know there is a difference. I was just trying to bridge
Yes,
the difference so that there is no need for a painful vote.
yes. I will just explain the
yes.
difference so that we
Senator
know.
Cayetano is
Yes.
recognized with the permission
Yes.
of Senator Intulfo.
Thank you. Mr. President, the reason why I want to explain the difference para malaman natin bakit malapit pero malayo.
Yes, okay.
Because when you laid it on the table, ang ibig sabihin niyan, buhay pa yung impeachment. Samantalang ang sinabi ng Supreme Court, immediately executory. So pag lay on the table, buhay pa yan, pero mamamatay yan paglabas ng MR. Pag in-archive mo, baliktad. Patay na yan. Kasi sinabi na ng Supreme Court, immediately executory.
Void ab initio.
Pero mabubuhay yan pag binuhay ng Supreme Court. Now, ang ibinigay na po ni Senator Marcoleta sa atin, pumayag na siyang tanggalin yung word na dismiss. Because nga, even I question, we're going to dismiss, wala nga jurisdiction. Although there's a Supreme Court ruling saying na pag wala ka na magawa, walang jurisdiction, i-dismiss. So the proposal, which is accepted by Senator Marcoleta, is that we adhere to the decision and then archive it. So ang natural effect nun, sinunod natin yung Supreme Court na immediately executory. Wala tayong, we cannot say na tama to, malito, malito. You only have two choices. Do you follow the Supreme Court or you don't follow? You cannot say tama to, malito. So that's I think that's the level of disagreement.
Okay, I
Mr.
take
Chair.
note of that, and I was trying to have a unanimous vote and trying to bridge the two motions, which based on Rule 31, there is actually no motion to archive, but actually every day we archive in our referral. So because of that practice, then that motion is therefore acceptable. Having said that, Mr. President, let me just summarize what we are voting on. We're actually, and I will just say it, the very, very short dispositive portion of the Supreme Court decision. And this is the article, and I quote it, the articles of impeachment are declared barred by Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 5 of the Constitution. Likewise, they are unconstitutional and are deemed null and void ab initio. Consequently, the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction to constitute itself into an impeachment court, and this decision is immediately executory. I just wanted to summarize what we've been discussing for 3.5 hours. And while my attempt to bridge the two similarly worded motions did not succeed, then we will therefore have to put it into a vote. Thank you, Mr.
Majority
President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I think we heard enough, and I think it's about time that we dispose the motion of our distinguished minority leader to lay this on the table, Mr. President. So I move for the previous
Parliamentary
motion.
inquiry,
Mr.
Mr. President.
What
Mr.
is
President, Senator Aquino is seeking the floor.
What is the parliamentary inquiry of Senator Aquino?
Mr. President, may I get earlier Senator Cayetano talked about the differences between a motion to table and motion to archive. May I get an official response, Mr. President? Is that really the difference?
Your Honor, we have not yet heard the motion of Senator Marcoleta.
No, Mr. President, a motion to archive and a motion to table, for us laymen, it sounds similar. Sa totoo lang, Mr. President. Anong pinagkaiba niya, Mr. President?
Senator Aquino,
I mean,
what Senator Soto, that's why I prefer that we act on the motion. What Senator Soto is seeking to table is not the articles of impeachment nor the impeachment case, but the motion of Senator Marcoleta, which we haven't heard.
Okay.
So when we decide on the motion to table, the motion of Senator Marcoleta, not the articles of impeachment.
Yes. And the motion to archive are the articles of impeachment, Mr. President.
Yes.
Yun yung pinagkaiba niya.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Soto?
My motion to table was to table the motion of Senator
Senator
Marcoleta.
Marcoleta, yes.
The
That's
motion
exactly
to
what I
dismiss.
said, Your Honor.
Yes.
Oo.
That's exactly what I said.
That is
That
not,
the motion to table pertains to the motion of Senator Marcoleta,
to dismiss.
not
Correct.
the articles
the
of
new one.
impeachment.
Not the articles.
The motion of Senator Marcoleta, if at all, would pertain to the articles of impeachment and or the impeachment case.
And if I may add, Mr. President.
Senator Pangilinan?
Well, the motion to archive.
Senator Pangilinan, we're not yet there.
Well, okay. The motion to table, the motion, then frees us from the debate of whether or not we have the power as a Senate in plenary to address the impeachment complaint.
The chair said that earlier.
Yes, and therefore
We will first put
Okay.
to a vote the motion to table of our distinguished minority floor leader, which under our rules has precedence over the motion of Senator Marcoleta, although made earlier. Depending on the outcome of that vote, then we will act on the motion of Senator Marcoleta accordingly. Senator Estrada.
Mr. President, we have been listening to all the manifestations of almost all senators who stood up. Mr. President, it has been 4 hours listening to several manifestations of our colleagues, and it is about time that we decide right away the pending motions before us. Mr. President, the Filipino people are watching. The Filipino people are listening. The Senate has to act, and the Senate has to act decisively. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the previous motion, Mr. President. On the motion of the Minority Leader, Senator Tito Soto, to lay on the table the motion of Senator Rodante Marcoleta.
Is there any objection to the motion of the Majority Leader for the Senate? What is the pleasure of the Minority Floor Leader?
Mr. President, I move for a nominal vote.
The chair has every intention of doing that, Your Honor. There is a motion to vote on the motion of Senator Soto to lay on the table the motion of Senator Marcoleta pertaining to the articles of impeachment vis-a-vis and in light of the Supreme Court decision of July 25, 2025. To explain, a yes, affirmative, or aye vote supports the motion of the Honorable Minority Leader, and it therefore means that we will not act on the motion of Senator Marcoleta today. A nay vote, a no vote, means that the motion of Senator Marcoleta will not be laid on the table and that we will act and vote upon it today. Senator Lacson? Later on, we'll know the amendment. Senator Lacson, so that it's on the record, please.
So you're only referring, Mr. President, to the motion to dismiss? No, motion to table. Just the motion to table.
Just the motion to table, Your Honor, because we are not yet there. There being no objection, the motion is of the... Yes, Senator Zubiri.
Yes, Mr. President, being a former Senate President and being former Majority Leader, I'd like to ask the audience to restrain from commenting or laughing, please. Well, we are in a, for me, it's a sacred place. It is in the August chamber of the Senate that we have decorum. May we ask for decorum from those who are watching within the plenary, Mr. President.
Actually, they have been silent for the past 3.5 hours. Chair would like to remind the people in the gallery to kindly respect the processes and procedures of the Senate and to avoid any claps, any jeering or comments so that we can proceed with roll call vote.
Yes, with due respect, because I heard a lot of laughing after the poor gentleman from our good friend, Senator Lacson, asked only for a clarification of the vote that will happen in a few seconds.
The
Yun
Sergeant
lamang
at
po,
Arms is so
just
directed.
proper decorum because this is a very important vote and it's a very serious vote that will be taking place. Thank you.
The Sergeant at Arms is so directed to kindly maintain order in the gallery. Acting now on the motion of the majority leader for us to divide the House and vote on the motion to lay on the table, Secretary is directed to call the roll for nominal voting.
Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Aquino. Senator Cayetano Alan. Senator Cayetano Pia. Senator De La Rosa. Senator Ejercito. Senator Estrada. Senator Gatchalian. Senator Go. Senator Ontiveros. Senator Lacson. Senator Lapid. Senator Legarda. Senator Marcoleta. Senator Marcos. Senator Padilla. Senator Pangilinan. Senator Soto.
May I register my vote, Mr. President?
The minority leader may proceed.
Thank you. Mr. President, the Supreme Court decision is now pending appeal. It is prudent to wait for the results rather than prematurely archiving, if not dismissing, because I know for a fact, once it is archived, it is dead. So what happens if the Supreme Court reverses itself? Clear and blatant errors are present in the ruling of the Supreme Court. First, they misunderstood the legislative process in assuming that the 19th Congress adjourned sine die in February 5. Grave error. Thus effectively dismissing the first three complaints, paving the way for them to say na ano pala, yung 1-year ban binayolate. The archiving of the three complaints were done after the initiation of the fourth complaint. The 1-year ban did not set in. Second, the decision practically amended the clear mandate by the Constitution by placing a hierarchy on the modes to initiate an impeachment complaint. Parang wala na yung third option. Third, the Supreme Court retroactively applied the new definition to the present case in the violation of the doctrine of operative facts, thus voiding as well the impeachment proceedings of former President Estrada and Chief Justice Corona. They did not interpret the Constitution, Mr. President. They amended the Constitution. So lastly, the Supreme Court now has the chance to rectify these errors in its decision. So I was hoping to table the motion so that we can let us afford them this opportunity for the benefit of future impeachment processes and to uphold the clear mandate of the 1987 Constitution. All we needed to do was wait a little. And so I will have to register a yes vote. I know it will be a vote in the minority, but I have always voted in the minority in many issues in the Senate since 1992 up to the present. Always prayed I was wrong. Unfortunately, I was always right. My God, have mercy on your decision. I vote yes.
Noted. Secretary will please continue.
Senator Tulfo Erwin. Senator Tulfo Rafi. Senator Villanueva. Senator Villar Camille. Senator Villar Mark. Senator Zubiri. Senate President Escudero.
No.
Pwedeng mag-explain ng boto.
Before the explanations of vote, Chair would first like to make of record the result. With 5 affirmative votes, 19 negative votes, the motion to table the motion of Senator Marcoleta is lost. Lost. Soto. Sorry, Senator Soto is lost. No, he said the motion to table the motion of Senator Marcoleta is lost. Yes. Pati tuloy ako, nalito dito siya.
Mr. President,
Senator
if I-
Villanueva.
If I may, Mr. President, and to go back to the first motion raised by Senator Marcoleta, if I may be allowed, Mr. President, to amend, Mr. President, the motion, Mr. President.
The gentleman may proceed with the permission of Senator Marcoleta.
Mr. President, adhering to the immediately executory decision rendered by the Supreme Court en banc on 25 of July 2025, which held, among others, the articles of impeachment are null and void ab initio, and that the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction over the same, I move to transfer the articles of impeachment in relation to case number 002-2011 entitled in the matter of the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte to the archives. I so move, Mr. President.
What does Senator Marcoleta say?
I accept, Mr. President.
There is a motion as enunciated by the minority floor leader. What is the pleasure of Senator Zubiri?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, instead of a viva voce vote on that motion, may we be allowed to manifest our votes with a short manifestation, Mr. President, each and every one of us.
This,
Yeah, through nominal voting, Mr. President, with the permission of the body, of course.
no, I think Senator Soto, the motion of Senator Zubiri is to conduct nominal voting and allow the members to explain their votes after casting their vote, not after everyone has voted. I think that is the tenor of the motion of Senator Zubiri.
Ang binobotohan muna natin, amendment mo eh, di ba?
Um,
Hindi, yung motion na.
Tinanggap niya. So,
Yes.
Mr. President, the majority leader, Senator Marcoleta accepted the amendment of the majority leader. So what are we voting on now? May we now...
The motion
hear-
as amended
Yes,
by
a motion
Senator
as amended.
Villanueva.
May we hear the motion as amended, please?
May the gentleman, the distinguished majority leader,
Yes,
kindly
Mr.
state
President.
once again for the record and benefit of our colleagues, the motion as duly accepted by Senator Marcoleta.
Thank you, Mr. President. Adhering to the immediately executory decision rendered by the Supreme Court en banc on 25th July 2025, which held, among others, that the articles of impeachment are null and void ab initio, and that the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction over the same, I move to transfer the articles of impeachment in relation to case number